No comment. Nervous laughter.
Hey, this is my anti-dope anthem. Rest in peace to all my fallen soldiers. I wanna thank my fans for buying this shit, and thank my family and my friends for liking my shit. Thank God I got family, got some friends. Thank God I got music, got some fans. Cause if not, I'll be an addict, I'll be at it again. They say rehab's for quitters, I was raised to win. Thank God I got family, got some friends. Thank God I got music and got some fans. Cause if not, I'll be an addict, I'll be at it again. They say rehab's for quitters, I was raised to win. I give shouts out to my family, shout out to my fans. Shout out to all the crooked cops who couldn't cuff these hands. And a shout out to my mama trying to make me a man. I apologize for arguing with you and my dad. And props to my brother for him following plans. God bless my Uncle Rod for dropping a few grand. Rest in peace, Uncle Lester, hope you're catching a tan. On the beach up in heaven with your toes in the sand. With a lifetime supply of Miller Lite in your hand. Say hi to my granny and hi to my gramps. And let them know I got this, I'm proud of who I am. Not proud of what I went through, but I do it all again. I promised you I wouldn't use, I used it.
Alright, man, alright. We'll stop playing BK's and shit.
I played just like 30 seconds of it, bro, and I was like, oh, this is pretty dope.
That's what I'm saying. This shit is fire, bro. It's actually really good. You wouldn't think so with how he normally talks. He don't talk like he can rap. He can rap.
His style and his
bro.
flow
He's super
reminds me
chill.
of Cottonmouth King.
Yeah, you can rap. Alright, but yeah, like you said, the last podcast, if you hear, welcome to Living Minds of Local Faith. This one is the After Hour show. We did recording earlier. It's pretty much continuation. We're gonna get a little bit more deeper, a little bit more serious on this one, but obviously, like you know, it's us. The jokes are gonna fly. It's gonna happen. Hopefully, that nobody make a joke in a situation where they're not supposed to or don't need to. But you know, shit happens. Shit happens. I try to call Wolf out of that, but shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is.
For this one, right? We got the one and only. Of course, he's back. Black metal. Oh, there it is. He got the camera on now. He got the camera on.
I'm back in full effect.
Hell yeah. You know we had to bring him in for this one. We like I told him earlier, we saved this shit just for you. Save this shit just for you. We're waiting for you to show up
I
so
can
we can have this
appreciate
discussion. Because we know you're probably the most vocal about this, and you know I like to give you your pedestal every once in a while. You know, at least for this situation. You know what I'm saying? No homo boss.
Yeah.
All right, so not many topics, but a lot to talk about, right? So first, what we're going to talk about, because it's been a week now since this was announced. All right, Derek Chauvin found guilty on all three charges for killing George Floyd. Who's been watching the trial? Who's even been paying attention to the trial at all?
I mean, I paid attention to it. I won't say I watched it.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say I kept
didn't
I
watch
kept
it.
in touch with it, but
I've been looking at little clips here and there, and reading the articles.
I know his face is going to be the crying Jordan.
The crying Jordan meme.
His face is going to be the new crying Jordan. Did you see his face when they read him that verdict? He was like, the shock was so real you saw it even under the mask.
That's crazy. All right, so Derek
that man
Chauvin
said his
was
eyeball said it all.
convicted of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. The judge deliberated for more than 10 hours over 2 days before coming to their decision. So, what's everybody's thoughts on this? On the trial
I'm
so far,
surprised it
because
took him that long.
honestly, but as we know, the trial actually isn't over because there's also what 2 or 3 more officers that still have to go to trial. But this was
Yeah.
the most I believe,
Prominent.
yeah, vocal, the most watched one so far. This is the one that everybody wanted to see. That's why it's not TMZ. What's it called? Court TV. Court TV had cameras inside of the actual courtroom for this trial. Yeah, what's everybody's thoughts on this so far?
Well, first of all, fuck him. Let's go ahead and start there, because I'm actually like, I'm not satisfied with the justice system, but I do acknowledge it as a step in the right direction, because like, Buddy needed to be found guilty on all that shit. And fucking, if he catch a light sentence and the judge hug him and give him a Bible, then I'll be mad all over again. But as of right now, I'm moderately satisfied with how the justice system handled this one.
Well, they're saying the average for what he's convicted of is what, 12 years, but they're asking
Yes.
for a heavier sentence on him.
Yes.
And if they know what's good for him, they'll throw the book at him.
Let's be honest here. I mean, even if he got 12 years, that's going to seem like a hell of a lot longer for him in jail.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have to be out of Gen Pop. He's not gonna. He might not get past his first day unless he joins the Aryan Brotherhood.
If he ain't already.
Yeah,
I'm
that's true.
I'm sure he was making plans as soon as he caught that case, bro.
I believe it. I believe it. That sounds like if Zimmerman will sign Skittles bags, I'm pretty sure somebody would join the clan just for some safety.
Zimmerman was signing Skittles bags?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
Zimmerman was
fucked up.
going to fucking KKK rallies and shit, and he was signing Skittles bags for the fucking racists.
Well, okay. That's news to me. I didn't know that one. Okay.
Yeah, it was wild, right? I thought it was bullshit till I looked it up. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody that dumb. No, people are that dumb. Like, this is where we need Morgan Freeman. Nah, man. People ain't that dumb. But people were, in fact, that dumb.
It's a fact.
Sin and Black Metal. You got any?
Yeah.
I felt like you were gonna let Sin go if Sin had something.
I was. So what was the charges again exactly? Because I want to.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'll be right back. I got to restart my shit. Everyone's lagging on me. I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good.
Right.
Second degree unintentional murder, third degree murder, and second degree manslaughter.
See, the problem that I have with it is that I don't think it was due diligence on the justice. I think that is something that should have been given to the affiliate officers, second degree or third degree murder or reckless endangerment. Those are charges for the people who were not him. He should have been charged with first degree murder, without a doubt in my mind. And I feel like a lot of points that they said in the case was coming to that. You know what I mean? And the judge seemed to be fair in his decision making and the way that he was breaking down certain situations. But I felt like when it was brought up about the pipes, or like he inhaled too many fumes and his drug usage, that to me was it was like defamation of George Floyd's character. And I feel like that was the only angle for them to say that this wasn't a justified first degree murder charge. Like, and that's why he got second degree murder, because they're trying to say, okay, it might not have been a premeditated plan to kill George Floyd, but you still acted on killing him. I don't believe that. I believe it was a premeditated thing due to their history, due to them working together for 7 years, due to all of that shit. So when he saw it was him, he already premeditated a plan in his mind. You see what I mean? To do something to him. So that was premeditated. That's a premeditation. It wasn't like, oh, he just stuck his knee on his neck and like he got off of him and George Floyd cracked his larynx or some shit like that. Like, no, like you deliberately killed him. You deliberately asked for backup. You deliberately told people to back away. You deliberately threw him on the ground for no reason. You had a plan to do it. Do I believe you came up with a crazy Dexter's Lab plan? No. But I mean, when you saw him there, already in your mind, you were premeditating.
You saw an opportunity and you took it.
Exactly. So you premeditated something before you acted. Then you acted. It was all in the same event, though. You get what I mean? It wasn't like he premeditated. He probably was like, oh, I don't like this guy. If I ever see him again, I'm going to, kill him or something. You know what I mean? So it wasn't premeditated like, oh, he planned on it every day of his life. Like, no, but when he saw him, he had a plan already. He already thought of something that he could do to harm him. Period.
Why I feel you on that. The problem with that is, a court of law, you have to prove these
It was
things. You have
already
to prove it
proven.
beyond a shadow of a doubt.
It was
So all
already
12
proven without a
jurors.
shadow of a doubt. If I watched the trial, it was proven without a shadow of a doubt. The only thing that they had to dispute, the only thing they had to dispute it being a first degree was picking the character of George Floyd, having his girlfriend take the stand and talk about him personally. But it was nothing. There was
There
nothing
was
that he could
nothing
say.
concrete about the case. It was a character assassination.
No, it was a character assassination, and then they tried to say that he was a drug abuser and that he might possibly have inhaled too many fumes from the vehicle. My thing is that's perfect grounds for a first degree murder because even if that's the case, right? This is what I would have done if I was the prosecution. Okay, so say he did die from asphyxiation and he had poisoning, carbon monoxide poisoning from the car, right? So you deliberately had your knee on his neck for 9 minutes and whatever amount of seconds behind the vehicle. See what I mean? You knew that. So that's your debate to say, oh, he died from this. But if he died from that, right? Why are you using that as a way to defend what you're trying to say that you didn't kill him? Because that to me is a form of premeditation that he was intentionally put there. You see what I'm saying? So to me, it's like you're giving me angles to persecute you more. Like it's quite obvious that, the fact that he was in a picture with his daughter, the fact that they worked together before, had issues before. You see what I'm saying? They've been in altercations before. It's a
I think
premeditation.
I think what went down in this situation, with this entire situation, was literally a risk and reward kind of thing. I think the DA knew he deserved murder one, but he also
Yeah,
knew that a murder one rap would be the easiest rap for him to beat in court.
Correct.
that's what it was. That's why they never. I don't think that's why they pursued.
Because
First a
if
first
they
degree.
tried to hit him with murder one, it's no longer a matter of did he do it? It's a matter of did he premeditate doing it?
Hmm.
And they can
Yeah,
prove that he went there on air quotes official business. He went there to control the situation. He was relying on his training. Now that's casting doubt. I'm casting doubt
yeah,
on did he do it on purpose? Was it an accident? Did he fuck up? And with only a murder one charge, if he's got just murder one, nothing else, boom, he beats that murder one rap, and you can't try him for killing George Floyd again.
Correct.
that is true, and I
That's
agree
what
with that.
it's a law-abiding citizen kind of thing, man. And
Yeah,
I get
I,
it.
I
Yeah,
agree with
he
that.
deserved murder one. Off
Yeah,
rip, murder one. He deserved to go down. But they
yeah,
knew murder one would be the easiest for him to weasel his way out of.
right, and that
So
I
now they're gonna try and
understand, but
smack
I
him on
I
the other end.
I don't think justice was served. I think that I'm not gonna say full justice. I'm not gonna say like no justice was served. Like, yeah, like of course it was, a good thing to see that someone has to pay for the consequences of their actions. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the consequence for the action that you took this way. You see what I mean? But my thing is, it's not. You know what I mean? It wasn't enough for me
I,
personally.
I
You know
think
what I
what
mean?
I think what we're looking for here is this was okay. This wasn't bad.
Yeah,
But what I would like to do is I would like to see society grow in a manner to which we no longer have to worry about if this cop goes to trial, is he going to get off? It needs to be a
right.
matter of, is this the truth? It is, then he's going to prison.
Period. Yeah,
That's what I would like to see in the future. I would like to see not such a hard fight for justice. Why do
right.
black people in this country have to fight for justice? We fought to build the motherfucker. We fought to
Mm.
survive in this motherfucker. We fought to help build this motherfucker up again. And every time we build our own shit, they bombed or burned it. So why is it that a black person has to work the hardest for justice in this country when, and this is just me, a black man in America can call himself an American more than anybody fucking else. We built this motherfucker. There's no reason why we should have to fucking, oh yeah, I gotta take what I can get when it comes to justice. I get it. Society needs to grow. But the same as I believe with transgender sports, like we were talking about. Sure, at some point we will perfect transitioning, but we haven't gotten there yet. And when we do get there, it's going to be something fucking amazing because we're going to be doing it right. And that's where we want to get to doing the right thing without being prompted.
I feel what you're saying, and I don't disagree with any of it, but I feel you're adding a lot of personal things, and I get the political climate. I completely understand that, and I don't disagree with it.
Mhm.
But I kind of feel in this case it would have been the same exact thing if he had been white, as far as the case went, leaving all personal things out aside. But the murder to charge is the same as it would have been if the victim were white, because of proving beyond a shadow of a doubt, and you're hurting your case if you go for a murder one charge and you don't get it, or any disbelief is added to the situation or case. These kind of things are a result of lack of training, a lack of time spent in education, in proper use of force, of just inexperience on police officers, whether it's premeditated or not. But a lot of these other situations, and I know we're going to get into more of them here in a few, and I'm going to repeat myself a lot. It's a lack of training. It's a lack of understanding, of
In a lot of
awareness.
cases, I would agree.
Oh,
Yes,
this one's a little bit different on that subject.
but
This dude definitely
you
killed
can't
that
train
guy.
a cop not to kneel on somebody's neck for 10 minutes. You can't train him not to do that. He
The
did that shit
saddest thing
first.
is they actually are trained to do that.
No one is trained
I
to
think
kneel on your neck for 10
I I,
minutes.
I
You're trained to
personally
neutralize a threat.
They actually are.
I personally think that there was. I'll tell you like this, man. It was premeditated murder, and I wouldn't have cared if it was a white person or a black person. The problem is, there's too many black people that's going through it. See what I'm saying? And you don't see. I'm not gonna say it doesn't exist, because that would be a lie. You see what I mean? I'm pretty sure plenty of Asians, Caucasians, Hispanic people go through similar issues with the police, or just similar issues in life that black people struggle through. The problem is, since the inception of America, we've been the one that our people have been the blunt of it. You see what I mean? And for change, we've been the blunt of change. We've been the blunt for everything. We've been the first starter for all of this shit. So my thing is, in this situation, it was a clear cut and dry first degree murder. The way the trial went, it was a clear cut and dry. There was nothing that they could deliberate or. My thing is this: the people, right? The people who are judging the case. That's the problem. People bring their opinions into. You see what I'm saying? What's right and what's wrong. You know,
That's all a verdict is. It's 12
I'm
people's opinion.
I'm happy he was charged. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not even happy he was charged. I don't even like the system of jail. But at the same time, he deserved what the fuck he got. You see what I'm saying? Because it could have been much worse than that for him.
Oh,
You get what I
absolutely.
mean?
Oh,
My
he
thing is,
deserved everything he got. Absolutely.
yeah, my thing, it was a clear cut and dry first degree murder though. Like, if you look at the actual facts and the things that he said and the things that he did, the ways that he acted during, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a clear cut and dry premeditation.
Yeah.
They
Factually,
even
it
played the
was cut
report.
and
They even
dry.
played the
But
Absolutely.
recording of him talking
Factually.
before he
But
got there.
courtrooms don't look at factual, they look at technical.
I
It
feel
is what
everything
it is.
y'all are
They take
saying.
facts and they make
Yeah,
them technical.
But
That's what
it
they
is
do
what
in
it
court.
is.
but as you said, you got these jurors that are bringing their personal feelings into this. So are you. And I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, and
Nah,
I don't disagree with you. But you
mine is a
also have
but
personal
where
feelings
did I
coming
go
into
personal?
it.
But where did I go personal?
You're bringing in the political climate and the past history of Black Americans.
That's not
That
an
is a
opinion though. That's a fact. That's not opinion.
well, people
It's a
can
fact.
debate or argue with you
It's
of
no
whether that's
debate. It's
opinion
no
or
debate
fact.
or argument. It's not no debate or argument. The people who are the oppressors. You see what I'm saying? The ones that are the oppressors are the ones that have taken from the
But
oppressed.
I could make the same case that it's not a racial thing; it's a
It
poverty
is a
thing,
racial
or
thing.
it's
No,
an
man, it's a
economic
racial thing.
thing.
It's a racial thing.
Yes.
It's clear, cut and dry. If it was okay, I'll tell you like this. If it wasn't just majoritarily black people, see what I'm saying? Do people say this about the Holocaust? Like, do people debate if it was a racial thing or like a political, social thing? No, they know that the Jewish people were the oppressed people of the Holocaust. Like, that's not a debate. Even though there were black people there being oppressed too, you can have that, right? Jewish people can have that, right? My thing is,
Absolutely.
in America, nobody debates the Holocaust. Nobody debates anything why that happened. It was just wrong, right? So it's the same thing here. It's the same
There
thing. It's wrong.
actually are people who debate the Holocaust, though. That's the thing.
It is what
They
it
do
is.
And what do
exist.
we
They are
call
out
those
there.
people?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say, but the truth is the truth. You see what I'm saying? This isn't an opinion. This is, what I mean. My grandmother was a slave. You see what I'm saying? Like I got to meet my grandmother with no thumbs because she got it chopped off at a factory. You see what I'm saying? Like they were slaves. My grandfather, God bless his soul, I never got to meet him. He couldn't read or write because he wasn't allowed to. You see what I'm saying? This was 2 generations ago that we were in the shit.
There's
You know
still
what I mean?
almost 16% of the world's population that can't read or write. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but but being forced to not read and write is different than not knowing that there's a thing called reading and write. You
They
see what I'm
know it
saying?
exists. They just don't have
Not
the
all people.
opportunity to be educated.
Not all people. I mean, what do we consider
They know
education?
reading and writing exists. It's
But what,
everywhere. You can't miss it.
but what do we consider education? Right? What we've known here in America is the
Being
form of
taught to
education.
read and write.
Yeah, but reading and writing is a format of education, correct?
Yeah.
But who created this idea to read and write English? Who created this idea of studying the history of the presidents? Who was, you get what I'm saying? You got to get into the root of it.
Who
It's
created
not
the
the
idea
surface
of
level.
history? History created the idea of history.
No, I'm talking about
Somebody who killed
the
somebody created the idea of history because they realized that if they wrote down that they killed them this way and not that way, that they're the
History is
winners, so
decided by
they
the
get to
winner.
decide what history. Yeah, they get to decide what history is. And
that's
I
what I'm
think
saying. The history
what
that
we're
we know,
kind of missing a little bit here
No,
is
I want you to take the history decided by the winner. Now, you're talking about the Holocaust. What happens if the Nazis win? It's an entirely different truth. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean,
I can
while
I
I
can, I
don't
can
disagree with
understand.
anything y'all are saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate here and presenting the other
Mhm.
side. I mean, I totally get and agree
Yeah.
with what you're saying, but
Mhm.
there is another side to it, as horrible as it may be.
Definitely. There's two sides and then the truth. The thing about me is I don't pick a side, just the truth. You see what I'm saying? It's a hard truth. Everybody's gonna have an opinion about the truth, but the truth is the facts of what actually happened and the things that have happened, and the things that gonna continue to happen. You see what I'm saying? Because it's factual. It's not something that's gonna change until people are ready to change and change their mentality and erase the stupid shit that what I mean? We were taught to believe in and think that this is a form of understanding, but we don't have understanding of each other as a human race. We do not understand each other. We understand things about each other, but we really don't understand each other
Absolutely.
because we're
change
so
can be
focused
a
on
painfully slow process.
right, because we're so
Change can
focused
be
on
painfully
education
slow.
or technology or this market, that market, clothes, shoes, whatever the fuck your focus is. But we're not in tune with our inner self. And if we're not in tune with our inner selves, we can't be in tune within selves of each other. You know what I mean? That's the problem. You see what I mean? So it's it's the whole system of how everything's going. I do feel where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Playing devil's advocate and giving, what I mean, different
It's
ideas
a
and
good way to
thoughts.
establish depth. It's a good way to establish depth. Fucking
Yeah, for
by
sure.
playing devil's advocate and seeing both sides, we can establish depth to the conversation and actually solidify to the viewers that like, hey, we're not just saying shit because we're two black guys. This is also like dead ass. You can look at the shit and you get how some people end up in a fucked up position in their life, like say fucking Nazis. Oh yeah, they hated Jews.
Oh, the thing is, they didn't just hate Jew. The political climate with the Nazis was the whole Jew thing came because supposedly they were stealing their money because the Jewish community had run the
Oh,
banking
I
community
said they
in
hated
Germany
Jews
for
and
a
not
long
called
time.
cancel.
Yeah.
But over time, truth is written by the winner.
Fact.
So when you're looking at a lot of things from the past, you got to understand that everything we're going through today, it's relevant today, and it will be relevant in the future, and it's relevant to the past. But as far as the time frame goes for all of this happening, it's still in its infancy. Like like you said, change takes time, and it's not going to happen overnight. And as far as the time span that this has been going on, as far as relevancy to society, this is kind of an overnight thing so far. It's going to take time for everybody to walk in each other's shoes, to see the other side and to understand what's going on and what has happened to various cultures. It's not just black people that were enslaved. It was Egyptians at one point. It was the Mesopotamians at one point. A lot of atrocities that were committed by a lot of different civilizations, and it takes time for these things to be understood. I mean, if you talk to a Roman back when their society was falling apart, I'm sure a lot of them really regretted a lot of the horrible things they did to a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
if you talk to them before their fall, I'm sure they didn't give a fuck, because I mean that's what it was about at the time.
That
It
sounds
takes.
predatory as fuck.
It was the norm at the time.
It was the norm at the time.
At the
That's
time,
just, yeah, at the time. And at the time,
predatory relationships are as old as time itself.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
just what that's what everything on the planet can be. Anything living can be put into a category of predator or prey.
yeah,
And most of the time, the most predatory motherfucker is the guy that's going to come out on top.
absolutely. Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Why do bad things happen to good people? No fucking clue.
Well, it's
But
it's
I do
just
know
nature. It's natural.
that nature, that's part of nature, and that fucking the guy that comes out on top is not going to write himself out to be the asshole.
The fact of the matter is, humans are animals. We're animals, and there is no escaping the fact that's just the way it is. And unfortunately,
Things will never
the
be the same.
it's just a fact of nature that's the way it has to go down, unfortunately. And until we get past that, there will never be such a thing as equality, unfortunately. And it's a shame
Yeah.
that that's the way it is. But I think that we're progressing slowly. But I like to think that eventually we
At
will
least we're
have
seeing
equality.
progress, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this
Like,
is definitely
because there,
progress. Is it
because there are
justice?
definitely
No, not
some
really.
of our forefathers probably never thought they would see a day like this.
I'm sure.
Like, I guarantee you, my great 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 grandparents weren't like, you know what? My great 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 grandson's gonna have property, and that motherfucker's gonna know how to read and write. He's gonna have a magic box with a screen on it where he talks all to his friends.
A magic box.
Them motherfuckers like, yeah, magic box. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Fucking
I can only imagine how the black community felt during the OJ trial after he walked free. I mean, I'm sure no one in the black community thought that was even a possibility. And
oh
whether
shit,
he did
fucking wild.
didn't kill those people is irrelevant. But
Right.
I'm sure that wasn't even a thought that OJ could walk free in that case.
Yeah, I really do think that was just that was a matter of being underestimated too. Was like nobody thought, oh, he did what? Oh yeah, that fucking black guy's going to jail. That's it, game over.
I
Yeah.
mean, the prosecution was shit though. For that case,
Yeah,
if you really
everything
like
was
watch the
shit.
trial, the
Oh yeah,
prosecution was
absolutely.
All right,
terrible. So that's like a different,
all
you know what I mean?
right. Okay, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, the
So it's like, write it in, write it in.
so the sentencing for Derek Chauvin is gonna be in about what 6 or 7 weeks, right?
8 weeks, 8 weeks.
Eight
I heard
weeks.
8 weeks. Yeah.
There's 8 weeks. Okay. Uh, so what we know so far are obviously the convictions, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so the maximum amount of time he can face for the second degree murder is 40 years, 25 for the third degree murder, and 10 for the manslaughter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's already the rest of his life.
So knowing
Yeah, yeah. I was just about to say that. That's everything.
so knowing this information, right? What do you think the outcome should be?
He's gonna
Second
catch
degree.
life no matter what. He ain't no spring chicken. This wasn't like he wasn't mad old, but he's also not mad young.
So
Human life expectancy is anywhere between 65 and 75.
So the state, right? George Floyd's side is obviously going for the extreme numbers, right? The Minnesota
It
average,
all
the Minnesota average is 12 12 years.
12 years for second-degree murder.
Yeah, and I think it's 5 years or 4 years for manslaughter. Right? That's
Yeah.
their average. Um, so he it could not it could possibly not be life. There's a
It
possibility.
depends on if the judge decides that he needs to serve the sentences consecutively or concurrently.
Right.
That'll
what it
change a
boils
lot
down
of
to.
things.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be the
Can
big
you
thing.
explain that to us for who are not so educated
So
in the law?
the judge has a choice whenever the sentencing is passed of whether or not a sentence of multiple convictions is served consecutively or concurrently. So if it's served concurrently, that means all of the things he's found guilty of are served at the same time. So when he serves year one, it's year one on all three
All of them.
counts. But if it's served consecutively, that means once he finishes, say, the murder 2 charge, he then starts the third degree. And when the
Yeah.
third degree finishes, he starts the manslaughter charge. So that changes a lot of things. It's whether or not the sentence stacks or whether it's served in order.
What do you
In this
think is the
case, I'm
just
pretty
route?
sure they're going to stack them up, though.
So
The just route is for him to serve it consecutively.
Yeah, the judge is
if that's the
probably
case,
going to
it'll be
say
life.
consecutive.
If that's the case, it'll be life.
Yeah.
So what they're doing right now is they're going through Derek Chauvin's history, everything, right? They're going through all of his shit, work and personal life, through his history to see what type of person that he is, and that's how they're going to come up with this with their overall
Sentence.
sentence.
And that's why I feel like it's fucking retarded. That's what I feel like is fucking retarded. What the fuck does that have to do with anything of what you did?
I understand where you're coming from, but they've already found what I think it said 7 cases almost similar to the one that to this one right here. But I mean, they weren't. He didn't kill anyone, but I think they said
He just did something similar.
yeah, he's done a lot of things.
It's setting
similar to this in the
precedents.
past. Yeah.
Right.
Setting
All I'm
precedents and
saying
establishing a pattern.
Mhm.
Yeah, setting precedents
Like
for
that, because
future
that.
Oh, you're
cases
talking
that
about
might come
okay.
up
You're
along the
talking
lines.
about for him. You're not talking about for George Floyd. You're talking about for him.
No,
Okay,
for Derek
got
Chauvin,
it.
yeah.
That
Derek
makes
Chauvin.
sense. That makes sense.
Put some extra nails. Never hurt a coffin.
Nah.
Scott.
Some extra nails. Never hurt a coffin. Fucking imagine being that judge, and you're like, you know
Oh,
what?
Jesus.
Maybe he learned his lesson. And they smack it on the table. Yeah, he's had like 9 other cases like this. Oh, that changes everything.
Oh, I
Doesn't
guarantee you
it?
that
Doesn't
judge
it?
wants to be in this situation. It's going to be political for him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's going. Shit, he's moving on
blowing
up
up.
with this one. But that's
He's gonna
besides the
blow up.
point.
Yeah.
Point
He's getting
is,
a pay raise.
he's
All
gonna
that.
he's gonna throw the book at this motherfucker.
You
It's
better
high
put
profile.
the trophy on the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, if he ain't
Can I have his
political
badge?
aspirations, it's fucking. He's got supreme justice aspirations. Like he put
Yeah.
himself in this situation for a reason.
Yeah, he's gonna throw the book at that motherfucker. That's.
Maybe.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine how much visibility he's gonna get? But the only way he won't throw the book at this motherfucker is if he's already a white supremacist, and that's just
I don't think he's going to throw the book at him because that will make him look too harsh in future political aspirations. I
That's what
think
I think. Yeah.
he's going to go under the maximum but above the
The
norm,
minimum.
somewhere in that 3/4 kind of area. So if 12 is the
Okay, so
norm,
what kind of
and
sentence do you think we're looking at from this judge? How many years do you think this guy's gonna do?
I
I
think
would
he's gonna do 20, maybe 20 at the max. I would say anywhere
think
between 15 to 20.
I think he'll
All
get
right.
25 to 30, and he'll only serve 15 to 20.
All right, so let's say that's our best bet is he's gonna serve 15 to 20 years.
Well,
I don't know
the
about y'all.
sentencing is going to be higher than that.
I don't know about y'all, but if you took 15 to 20 years of my life away from me, I would consider that getting the fucking book thrown at me.
Yeah, but for him,
That's
it's not,
fucking.
because
That's hard. That's time.
He's supposed
That's
to.
real
He's supposed
time.
to uphold.
He might not die in prison, but he's not coming. He's coming out and he's going to be able to eat early at IHOP.
All right, well, I'm going to play the other side of devil advocate here, and I'm just going to point out the fact that there are people in certain states serving like 60 years for cannabis.
Exactly. That's some bullshit.
Right, man. Non-violent
Weed
crime.
ain't never hurt nobody.
No knees on no one, and they're doing ridiculous time.
I mean, this guy's
Yeah.
getting off real light in comparison to a lot of other things.
Very
Yeah.
light.
Yeah, he's getting off mad light, and they got the book thrown at him mad hard for some bullshit.
And
that's
he's supposed to uphold the law. That's the thing about it.
Absolutely.
He's supposed to uphold the law. So he should be held to a higher standard.
Maximum he's supposed to be the epitome of justice, that symbol.
I believe with any
upheld the law,
they should get the maximum of whatever
what he interpreted the law to be.
Yeah. No. If you're on duty and you do shit like this, you should serve the maximum sentence for whatever crime you committed. As a
it would set a precedence. It would set a precedence.
I guarantee you there'll be a lot of motherfucking cops that will be like, you know what? I don't think being a cop is just right for me. Facts.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though.
It's training.
It's training, and fucking. That's what I was trying to say a second ago. Is fucking. God damn it! I lost the train of thought. Hold on, I got it. It's in there.
These cops don't know the law. They spend 21 weeks in training.
They uphold the law based on their perception of the law.
Yeah.
So if you have a piece of shit running the streets upholding the law, of course he's gonna do piece of shit stuff. They have to have better training. They need better situational awareness. Fucking, and you're right. You're right, Black Metal. They need to catch a fucking hammer to the dome when they get too far out of line. Shit like this, if you let shit like this ride, it'll keep happening. It's only to the point where you say, you know what? No, this is not happening anymore. I'm making an example right here, right now. Once you make that one example, things start to taper off in some cases. There's not so much.
Ever since I'll tell you this much. Ever since I've seen him being charged with what he was charged with, it's been an uproar, especially where I'm at. It's been an uproar with police and people who support policing and stuff like that. It's been an uproar, and it's been a lot more like killings and like harassment, shit like that. Like it's been they've been pushing a lot harder now because of this shit. A lot of them don't agree with what happened. You know what I mean? And a lot of people. This is my thing. There's people that's ignorant, and there's people that choose to be ignorant, and that's America. America chooses to be ignorant. A lot of people in America choose to be ignorant, and things won't change if that's the mentality. You know what I mean? Like my way is right, your way is wrong. This is how I was raised, or this is what I think is the way it should. Like that's what's wrong with society as a whole today. You know what I mean? And not just in America, but I just think America, since we live here, you see what I'm saying? It's more prevalent than anywhere I've ever lived. I've lived in multiple countries. You know what I mean? And it's sickening. You know what I mean? It really is. And it's been an uproar, man. Like ever since the trial, like it's been some shit going on, and I don't know. It's been some shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, enough of that butt flap story. What's our next one?
Okay, so the next article is about something that happened the exact same day as this hearing was taking place. Right, we're gonna talk about Daunte Wright, and Jesus, it's so fucking weird saying this, man. It's so such bullshit. It's the case Daunte Wright and the officer who thought she had a taser in her hand, but shot this man. Okay, not gonna play the video. You guys can look up the video yourself. If
I got something to say about that shit.
The panel has the article that I sent. The video is in that article, right? So I don't even need to read this. It's simple. All right. He was pulled over. I think they said he was pulled over for he had a warrant. He had warrants.
Yeah.
And, they pulled him over when they saw him. They typed in his license plate number or whatever. They put him in handcuffs. All right. After they put him in handcuffs, he did resist. I think he either started to run away or he jumped into his car. One of the two.
Yeah.
When he jumped into his car, one of the officers pulled out their weapon, and she said, "Taser, taser, taser," and fired and shot Daunte Wright. After she shot him, I don't remember the exact words, but I know it was something along the lines of, "Oh shit, I shot him."
Yeah. She said, "Holy shit, I shot him."
Where did she shoot him at?
I do. It was Center Mass.
I would have to think so. They were very close, and he was literally just escaping and getting into the car.
And
it was one shot.
And if she thought it was a taser, then yeah, it would be Center Mass.
See, this is where shit gets sticky, right? Y'all do y'all research and figure out where she shot him at. You tell me if she thought it was a taser or not.
Well,
Send her ass to jail. Max sentence.
My problem
I'm
with
looking,
her
looking.
saying that she thought it was a taser is when you watch the police chief speak about it afterwards, he specifically goes into the fact that they're trained to have their dominant side with their firearm and their weak side with their taser. So I'm left to think either one of two things. Either first, it was racially motivated and she intentionally shot the man, or two, these motherfuckers need more damn training. Because if she was thinking that her dominant side was her taser, obviously she has not had enough training time to understand that her weak side should be her taser. So I don't know what else you could be left to believe afterwards.
Fair.
I'm looking for where he was shot.
I'm also looking for it. You guys can
I don't know if they've necessarily disclosed that information because that even the shooting wasn't shown on the police cam. They cut it.
Yeah, I couldn't find that. Like they pause it right there.
Yeah, they stop if the shooting happens.
No matter
That's
where she shot him, there are so many different sensory fucking red flags that should have gone up. If she was an actually adequately trained police officer, there are so many fucking red flags that should have gone up.
Absolutely.
A taser is not as heavy as your firearm, especially
Nowhere near
fully
as
loaded.
heavy.
Your service weapon is definitely heavier. Step
Nowhere
one.
near as heavy.
Step two, your service weapon is a solid color. It's a solid neutral color. Your taser is wrapped in yellow and black stripes. It is very easy to, when you aim, to see that this solid black object is in your hand. It's not yellow. Very clear representation. It's not a taser.
Just on
Third,
feel alone.
you had time to say taser, taser, taser into a gun.
Just on feel alone, the taser's the size of a subcompact sidearm, and a carry weapon for a cop is a full-sized firearm. They don't feel anything like each other. Half of your fingers are off of the taser when holding it. They feel nothing alike.
There was a lot of opportunity. There was a huge margin of error to fail at shooting him. The reason she didn't fail at shooting him is because she wanted to shoot him.
Well, like again, this leaves me with two things, and it could have been it obviously is a stressful situation, so a lot of that comes in. So again, either it's racially motivated or it is a severe lack of training. There's only two answers. That's it.
That is fair.
You said stressful
Yeah.
situation. What do you
I'll
think?
be back.
But was she or was she not a rookie?
No, she.
Yeah,
she,
I told.
No. She was an officer. I think they said like 25 years or something. Hold on.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't believe
I
for
don't know
1
that.
second that was a mistake.
Well, he
Kim
was
Potter
pulled over
worked-
for expired times,
Officer
so he
Kim
wasn't
Potter
he wasn't pulled over
for
for one.
Brooklyn Center Police for 26 years. So she was an officer for
Yeah.
26 years.
Yeah,
But
and you also got to
cops
think of
don't.
the demographics too.
I mean, most of these officers aren't, put in stressful situations very often. I mean, time to time, but not even in 26 years. There's a lot of cops that have never drawn their guns, and then again, there's cops that draw their guns 100 times in their first year. It's just it depends on where they're at, the type of officer they are. A lot to do with the precinct they're in, how their commanding officer feels about things. I mean, they might not ever had a stressful situation in their entire life. Now, what borough did you say it was? Brooklyn that she was in?
At Brooklyn Center Police. Yes.
I mean, it just all depends on what section of Brooklyn she was working. For 26 years.
I didn't see the point where he was shot, like, because they paused the video. But like, are police not trained to first identify an actual weapon in a hand before they shoot?
Exactly.
It sounded like he just went to the car. She said, "I can consider that a threat and therefore use force, lethal or not," and she used it. It was no like verification of the actual that moment that you're trained for. Do you see a weapon?
Well, it wasn't
You
the
do. I'm
fact
supposed to
that
shoot
he
or
had a
not.
weapon or not. It was he was trying to escape, so she was supposedly trying to use her taser to detain the subject, which is what she should
Right,
do.
but if Wolf said what Wolf said is correct, if you got time to yell it out 3 times and you got time to realize if the person has a weapon, if what you're holding is
Again,
lethal or not.
in a stressful situation that she possibly had never encountered before, there's good odds that she wasn't even paying attention to any of that, and that goes back to a
Right,
severe
but
lack of
they
training.
yeah, it must be because as my understanding is police forces often do training and they go into these situations where they put people who are posed as, potential suspects but are victims and it's part of your training to pass that test. To
21 weeks, bro.
understand,
21 weeks, bro, and more than 3/4 of it is book training. They spend very little time in actual physical training.
right, that may be the case in general, but I'd like to know the case in her situation. Was she just in a situation where she felt, compelled to act that way? When was the last training she had? That's what you can't treat it as a
Oh,
general
Jesus.
situation. You got to
26
look at
years
her
ago.
situation.
26 years ago, bro.
26 years ago.
That's sad.
Yeah,
I mean,
26 years without shit.
even if that's
In
the
the army,
case,
you
though,
can't go a week without getting told not to rape people.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even if that is the case, like when I served in the military, you see what I mean? Like that doesn't make an excuse to react the way that that person reacted. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, she perceived the threat when she hadn't even verified it yet.
that shit was a lame.
It's one thing when a person's fleeing, but it looks when I watch the video like she perceived a threat. So
if it was a woman, do you think she would have reacted the same way? No.
If
If
it
it
was
was
a
another
I don't
woman
know.
that was physically
if
smaller
it was
than her,
if
especially.
it was another woman, do you think she would have reacted that way? No, no, absolutely not. I know the demographics where this happened at. It's in Minnesota. See what I'm saying? It's it's a lot deeper than what like
Where did
people
this one
interpret.
happen?
This is in Minnesota. So the
This is in
actual
Is this one
Minnesota.
in Minnesota?
the
This is
actual
Minnesota
town,
too?
the actual town name is called
Jesus,
Brooklyn.
man.
It's called Brooklyn Center. Apparently, this is a borough over
Okay, when you
from.
said Brooklyn, I took it as a
Yeah.
borough.
No,
Okay.
no, no.
And
It's
Minnesota is just fucking up with their cops, bro.
you see what I'm saying? Now you're putting it together. It's in Minnesota. See what I'm
Their
saying?
training must be trash.
No, it's not that. It's just the demographics there
Yeah,
and the
they said
way
this
that
is
they
I get what
operate.
Tyler's saying. I get what Tyler's saying.
this
Oh, you didn't catch my satire?
oh no, I didn't hear you.
No, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I know damn well it's not the fucking training. Fucking,
Nah,
there
that's the
is no
demographics.
amount of training in the world you can do to stop an officer from kneeling on somebody's neck. There's no amount of training you can do to have an officer be like, yeah, fucking, this is my fucking taser and blast somebody. There's no amount of training you can do to have a police officer be like, I thought this was my apartment. Look out. That shit doesn't make fucking sense.
Exactly.
These dickheads don't need more training. They need more jail time. A lot of them just need to go to fucking prison.
No, they need more training. Now, I'm not gonna
No,
argue
they
with you
need
on
more. Police
this
in
one.
general need more training. Absolutely. Police in general need more training.
Okay. Here's my
These
situation.
motherfuckers do not. These motherfuckers
If she
need
went
to
into that situation, right, and thinking in her head, I'm trying to get into her head, and she's saying, okay, this person may or may not be a threat. They may or may not do something. He's going to book it or he's going to reach for something. And that point, your brain is already developing as a trained cop that you should be reaching for something, right? So you know at that point, even before it's popped off, you know what you're reaching for. You know, okay, he may or may not run. He may or may not grab a gun. I need to know what to reach for. But that wasn't the case. It was just like taser, taser, taser. By the way, I'm shooting my gun. I don't understand how you can fuck that up. I don't.
It doesn't
I
make
really
sense.
don't, man.
And she didn't shoot immediately. You got to think about that. She didn't shoot
She had
immediately.
time.
She
Taser,
had
taser,
time. She
taser.
aimed. The other cop tried to grab him out of the car. She's moving it around to like get a shot on him. See what I'm saying? It wasn't like it just happened and it was just her and him there and she
She
did it
didn't
and was like,
draw
oh
and
There
shit,
was
shoot.
no,
that's
like
what I'm saying. There was thinking
yeah,
time. There was time
yeah,
for the brain to kick in and understand what's going on.
yeah.
If
I
all
disagree with
I'm
that,
saying,
but
and it sounds kind of assholish, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put it this way: if you can honestly believe that she pulled out her firearm instead of her taser, drew down on that man, and shot him by accident, then you're telling me that you would get halfway through a shit sandwich before you realized it wasn't roast beef. Doesn't make sense.
I mean, I agree with that only
Depends on how
because
hungry I
I
am.
know the demographics and I know.
Damn, you gotta be a hungry motherfucker. Shit,
Who?
Don't eat for 2 weeks, and you tell me how it tastes.
And we'll post that link in the description below.
Yeah. He's gonna eat a shit sandwich. You heard it here first.
Tao, go ahead.
No, like I understand, you know, things outside of just the scenario that play a factor. You know what I'm saying? The demographics, where it happened at, how it happened, how many times have something like this happened before in that area, what type of people live there in that area, what type of people are the people that tend to be in these type of situations more often than not. And when you look into those things and you look into how policing reacts to another demographic as opposed to another demographic, you come to realize like it's a pattern. That's what's being trained, not the shit that people think. Oh, like yeah, we're reading in books and learning how to do this shit. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the caliber of the character of the person is shit. If the caliber of character of person is garbage, then you just should not be in a position to even have that kind of power. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't need to be like more training. It needs to be, the whole shit needs to go away. Like the way that we police in America needs to just change completely.
Yeah,
you know, you don't see these problems in the UK. You don't see these fucking problems in the UK. You don't see these fucking problems in Germany because they tell you right up front, if I want to pull you over for breathalyzer, then I can pull you over for a breathalyzer. If you resist, I'm gonna beat your ass. Okay,
Well,
cool.
the
I'm
required
just saying.
training in Germany for a police officer is almost 3 years, by the way. And you don't see
But
these kind of things happen in the UK because they don't carry weapons.
See what I'm saying? Because the mentality on policing is much different than America's. Policing
The
came from
mentality is the
bounty
same. They
hunting.
just
We
aren't
know
allowed
that,
to
right?
have guns.
But the idea of the police came from bounty hunting, where they hunted bounties of people, whether they were guilty or innocent. They just went and either killed them or collected a reward. That is how policing started. You see what I'm saying? So the whole law abiding and abiding by, they have been working to build these laws to oppress and keep things the way that it was of old, just in a newer way. You think it's much different, but it's not. It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It really is. Like, yeah, we might have weed legalized in all 50 states in the next 15 years, but what the fuck does that matter if cops can come up with an excuse to arrest you regardless? You see what I'm saying? Like,
arrest you, shit. They come with an excuse to kill your ass, apparently.
yeah, they don't even need an excuse now. It's something how it's been going for the past forever. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, these are
some
real ass excuses. These are some
it's
ass
just now
excuses.
that it's so publicized and it's happening so often and people recording so much. It's becoming an issue because now everybody's afraid. Even like prime example, like some white guys that I might have served in, their parents or their grandparents might have been racist, but they're not per se. They may have came up with racist tendencies, but they're not racist people. So they don't want this shit going on. You see what I'm saying? When they see shit like this going on, they are afraid, even though they have no need to be afraid in some senses. You see what I'm saying? They are afraid. So now the people are starting to react outside of the people who are going through the shit. You know what I mean? That's why it's becoming an issue. If it wasn't for that, you see what I'm saying? Us fighting for our rights and doing all that shit would have never mattered. Someone had to have sympathy. Someone had to have understanding from the side of power, from that side, to be like, okay, this is some bullshit. You know what I mean? So for it's an excuse, bro. Like for her to do what she did, it's an excuse, man. This kid, he was 20 years old, maybe weighed 115 pounds, bro. Little guy. Your male officer is already restraining him. The fuck are you shooting him for? Or even tasing him? The fuck? No, bro. That's not no. Go to jail.
And that's just how quick it can go wrong, man. That shit went from excessive use of force to murder.
Go to jail. Go to jail.
Straight to jail.
Go to jail because it's not. And that's the thing. That is what policing is, though. Like they don't follow their own laws. They enforce laws. They don't. I'm not gonna say all of them don't follow their own laws, but a big majority of them don't follow the laws, bro. They speed. I see it all the time. They fucking speed. They cut their lights on to get through traffic. They fucking eating donuts outside. Like all of that shit is against their law book, bro. They're not supposed to do none of this shit.
I want to know how I can go overseas to Afghanistan and fucking end up in Fort Leavenworth for mistreating an insurgent, but I can come back to America and get my ass beat by somebody that's supposed to protect me. That's what I want to know. How the fuck is it that our rules in war in another country are somehow stricter and more firm than the laws here that are actually protecting American citizens?
But yet you understand that there are people that served overseas and will get away with what they feel they can get away with. It's the same mentality.
Exactly. There's always going to be a scumbag somewhere. There's always going to be a scumbag somewhere. But the problem isn't a scumbag. The problem has never been a fucking scumbag. You know what the problem is? The indifference of good people.
The problem is inherent in people. Again, people are animals. It is nature. It is ingrained in you. It is what you are, no matter what you want to think about it.
Nature's goal as a whole, as an entirety, nature's goal is to grow and sustain. That's all nature wants to do is fucking, hey, look, this is the course I'm going. I want to follow that motherfucker. You would think that the human being's self-preservation instinct would kick in at some point and we'd be like, you know what? We can't keep mindlessly fucking each other over. But instead, it comes down to, I want to survive by myself. I don't care about anyone else. As long as I'm surviving the way I want to survive, that's all that matters. And when those people with that mentality start dying off, it's the same as like Black Metal put it. Fucking yeah, weed's legal now in a lot of places. You know, we're seeing progress. We're seeing change. But for that change to occur, the motherfuckers with the fucked up mentality either gotta learn or die. Those are their options in that situation. Because the ones that refuse to grow are effectively bulldozed by nature. That's what nature does. You either grow or I roll over you. Your fault.
Somebody playing music?
I don't know, but you really, really, really need to mess with your white balance a little bit.
Who, me?
Nah, I changed it. My bad.
Somebody put some of that powder shit on Sora's face. Just give him a little.
Wow, that's crazy. I can see you perfectly fine. I think that's just your phone. You on your phone, right?
I mean, it could be my phone because Tal looks.
I mean, I'm on the. Obviously, I'm on my PC. I look fine.
I mean, Black looks exactly the way he
Sora's
should.
camera is just fine.
Yeah, his camera's just fine. He's just really, really, really.
Nah, that was my phone. I fixed it though.
Oh,
somebody was calling me.
I mean, we on the subject of camera balancing and shit. You know, fucking Wolf needs to get some studio lights up in this bitch. He's got a nice little shine right in your face.
I'm thinking about getting LED lights in here. You know the ones from Amazon.
Yeah.
I think
You gonna get some RGBs?
Yeah, I think it might look better in here.
But we're getting off topic again. What's our next target?
Target.
Before we get to that, you need to get some of that sound insulation and get it behind you too, so you don't reverberate.
Yeah, I want to get that.
Yep.
I'm working on that.
You know what? Fuck you, Topher.
I'm just trying to be helpful here. Shit.
I think he just wanted to say "fuck you, Topher," because I didn't see
anything
wrong with
You're probably right.
I ain't seen
probably
wrong
right.
with what you said. He just wanted to say.
Yeah, there was nothing wrong at all. I was like, you know what? I haven't said "fuck you" to Topher in a long time. It's been a while. Let me renew my subscription.
Going on an hour.
He just mad because he can't tighten. It's okay. It's okay.
30 minutes for each of those topics. Try and keep the same momentum here. All right. Yeah. Black Metal.
Yeah, but I did want to say this though, because he said it twice, so I wanted this to be. We could talk about this later, not now, but I do not believe. I can't speak for everybody's ancestors, but I don't believe that we're animals. You know what I mean? So I believe that we've taken in the animal mindset when it comes to reacting to things, and not as much as saying how do I say it? Like we've learned.
If you're trying to make the point that people have evolved past being animals, I will disagree 100%.
No. What I'm saying is we're not animals at all from the beginning of time. Like we were never an
Evolution's
animal.
a thing, bro.
No,
Evolution's a thing.
evolution's a thing.
We
Evolution's a
started
thing.
as animals, and we still are.
Nah, we're not. We didn't come. We didn't come from animals, and we
We can
didn't.
put on a charade all day, pretending like we've evolved and we are higher or better than that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's still
They
the
are
way it is.
not.
The people who dominate society have adopted an animalistic mindset, but not human in nature. We are not animal mindseted. You see what I'm saying? We've just been given the mindset to be more like animals
Absolutely, we
to
are.
survive.
If given the option and you could get away with something, you would get away with it.
Yeah,
If you
robbing a
could,
bank, that's
if
not what
you
an
could,
animal would do.
if
You
you
see what
could
I'm
get
saying?
mad at somebody and there was no repercussion for murder, you would do it just like an animal would,
Yeah, but
because that's the
but
way
you
you
also,
are.
but the thing is, you also have to think if humanity was not to do things to get mad at each other, and if everybody was just to help, then it would never be
We
an
are
issue.
going into semantics.
So you
Okay,
could.
so
That's why I said we can talk about it later. We can talk about it later. But it's just a topic for later.
No, no,
Yeah,
I feel you. No, we could do an entire podcast with that. I'd be down to do that with you, bro.
yeah. It's a topic for later. Yeah, we'll keep that. I just wanted to
all
take a
right,
turn.
somebody write that down and send it. Write it down, send it to me.
Write it out. Send it next.
Write it down, send it. All right. Uh, now we're officially what? I don't shit. I don't even want to say that's 30 minutes. I was like 30 32 minutes because you went on your little tangent there, which is fine. Do you? I guess do you? Okay, all right. Last topic, right? In Columbus, Ohio, Ohio officials released body cam footage of the fatal police shooting of the teenage female who was shot by police officers. Not gonna play the video, obviously. Everyone on the panel, you have a video. Um, Me personally, right? She was attempting to stab someone. I concede that
100% agree.
a knife in her hand. She's attempting to stab someone. The police officers at one of their jobs is to protect and serve. Someone was in danger. He protected that person. Uh,
Yeah.
what are your opinions on this?
Should have stayed her ass in the house after she called them motherfuckers.
If I understand, my opinion on this is that I see a lot of people jumping up and they're saying what kind of an individual she was, and some people are defending her, and some people are just like that general mindset, like that objective mindset.
Right.
I think the officer in that particular instance, he did what an officer should do. He saw a threat. He didn't prioritize any particular individual there. He saw a threat that he visually saw a weapon. It was in the middle of being used. I saw that video. It was like literally seconds from being inside of someone. You know what I mean? So he did what he was supposed to do. He neutralized the threat.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything that was. Yeah, I didn't see anything
Yeah.
that was too crazy. That's
Yeah.
that's how it's supposed to be done, man. And as soon as the threat was neutralized, he immediately called for medical assistance. You know what I mean? So it wasn't no like, oh, I'm just gonna let this person lay there for a while and then think about my actions. He reacted the way he was supposed to react.
Yeah, that was clean to me. To me, that was very clean.
Yeah.
And my whole issue comes in at because everybody keeps telling me the same thing. I've lost a couple fucking friends off of this shit. Everybody says the same thing. Well, what if that was your daughter? If that was my daughter after she called the police? Because one, we don't call cops around here. If somebody will get shot, I'm doing the shooting. But
call cops around here.
But yeah, I'm not calling no fucking cops. If you want my fucking porch trying to start some shit, I don't call cops.
Okay,
I call
okay.
cops.
Bruh,
But
you
anyway,
sound like
I'm gonna tell a story here real quick, just so I can actually relate with you a little bit. Okay.
I'm gonna say this
When
real
I
quick.
was
I want to hear your story. I'm gonna say this real quick. Wolf, you sound like Randy from South Park, right? Like your kind.
yeah, I
around
thought
here.
this was America. thought this was America. What I do?
So-
I'm sorry. Thought this was America.
So when I was 16, I was hanging out with some kids I should have been hanging out with. Some shit was going down. So a lot of my friends like to hang out in front of my house, and it's suburbs of fucking Texas. Fucking, a bunch of white kids hanging out in front of the house. Nothing fucking. We weren't doing anything like horrible. I mean, a little weed smoking. Nothing like fucking. We ain't murdering nobody. we were getting in fights with some kids that we had no fucking business. They were the jocks, and we were the different kids. You know what I mean? Just fucking kid shit. And this kid started making threats, and they were legitimate threats, and he came around with a gun. Well, fucking us being kids, we're in the middle of the street, and this kid's fucking waving a gun in the fucking air and shit, and we're all yelling at each other. And my father walks out of the fucking house with a shotgun in hand and fucking disperses everybody. I mean, just dealt with the situation instantly. And my father will be the first person to tell you he is the biggest asshole you will ever meet. It's just the way he is. I love the man for what he is. He's a good man, but he's a fucking asshole. He didn't call the cops. It comes out of the same mentality Wolf just said. If somebody's going to fucking shoot somebody around here, it's gonna be me. So
Yeah.
that ain't just your own mentality, bro. That's a fucking
That's a solid mentality to fucking have. Fucking, I'm not. If somebody gonna do some shooting around here, it's gonna be me. I don't. What did Lil Wayne say? I don't bust back because I shoot first.
Oh,
but yeah, fucking. If it was my daughter, I'd have told her to stay her happy. If she already called the cops and there's not shit I can do about it, I'd have told her to stay her happy ass in the house. Why would you call the cops and then go back out to the violence? I don't get it.
Yeah, that don't make no sense to me, man. That seems like an illogical decision.
And who the fuck are her parents or guardians? This is right up here with Harambe. Why the fuck are your fucking guardians letting this shit happen? You don't let your badass kid go outside.
They're surrounding the altercation.
What?
They're out there, dude.
That's even worse. I'd have grabbed my kid right the fuck up. Get your ass in this house, you narrow motherfucker. I'm not finna play that bullshit.
So, I didn't watch this video on the article. I've seen a video. I don't know how long the video on the article is. The person that she's attempting to lunge with this knife at was not the first person she attacked. All right, there was someone before that.
She got jumped. She was getting jumped, basically.
That's when the police officer walked. I mean, I've been jumped before. I don't pull out a fucking knife. I've never pulled out a knife when I got jumped. All right, look. All right, we can do this all day. When the police officer walked up, all he has to go on in that situation, hey, I'm pulling up. There's a lot going on here, right? He pulls up, he sees one person with a weapon assaulting another person, right? The person that was doing the assaulting got up, went to another person, and lunged with this knife. So what is he supposed? That's his information right now, because he got up and he got there and shit was happening.
That's it. That's it. He had. That's it. That's how you have to look at that.
He did exactly what he was supposed to do. I can't be mad at him. Nobody can. The people that are mad at this dude are mad at him, but they're mad at him fucking.
You can be mad. You can be mad. You can be mad at the situation, but you can't be mad at the. You can't be mad at the officer.
It's also the political climate that he's unfortunately stepping into.
Yeah. Because most of these articles that you found on the internet, it doesn't say, like, I mean, all you heard the way I pitched it, but that's not what the article title says, does it? It says officer and black team. That's what it says. But
obviously, it's left that vague in order to invoke that kind of immediate rage that comes with the current political climate and the current situation.
Dollar bills,
and
bro.
That is why it's important to not just read a caption and actually watch a video. We can have conversations like this because all of us do our due diligence.
That's what I do every time one of these situations has happened. I don't even try to read the article. I go directly to the video. I want to feel like I was there the best way that I can. And you can't do that through words, man. Because at the end of the day, you're just taking the word of the author and the word of their report and the word of what they were told that they were allowed to print. Because it's not like you could just freely print what you want these days. Everything goes through an editor, and that editor answers to people with money. And so long as they got the money, they control the story.
And that is why it's good to have friends like you guys. Because we all do our due diligence. Fucking.
Continue. I just going to say something after
this. But that's just been the line that I drew on it, was fucking straight up. Everybody has all the people that are mad at the cop right now have this fucking what if that was your child mentality. And it annoys the fuck out of me because That's a
Most
lot of
probably
y'all
would've
that
been
would let
better.
your child go outside with a fucking weapon and attack
It's an
people.
incorrect way to approach that whole situation. You can't think about, oh, what if that was your child? Of course, anybody who, if that was their child, they're gonna be fucking mad. But it's who they're mad at, it's why they're mad that you have to really take into consideration.
But
Okay, well,
that's
my
just
point
it, though.
is,
I wouldn't have been mad in that situation if my daughter walked back out the house and attacked somebody and got fucking shot. The person I'd be mad at is me. Why did I, as your fucking parent, let you do that shit? I saw you were doing something wrong. I know you need guidance. I know you need rearing. So why the fuck am I gonna let you go out there?
That's what I mean.
It's not like when we were kids. When we were kids, it was easy. It was fucking, hey, let them fight it out because we had rules. You're not gonna use a weapon. You're not gonna fucking try and kill somebody. If they go down, they can't fight back. You walk the fuck away, and it was easy. But now we don't have those rules, and parents are letting their kids go outside and slash people up 8 ways from fucking Sunday.
It's crazy,
And then
man.
talking about
It's
my
crazy.
baby didn't do nothing when they get shot.
to quote Wolf about 2.5 hours ago, raise your fucking kids.
Raise your fucking kids. Raise your crotch goblins, dickhead. Raise them.
So I'm not sure if it's here. No, it's not. All right. So there was a, I guess, news release or news interview with this teen's parents or grandparents, whatever it was. I know it was a female they were talking to, and that person said that she never had a weapon in her hand. When there's literally video footage right here of a weapon in her hand, and she's lunging.
And another thing, stop lying for your musty ass kids. Stop that shit. Don't nobody believe that shit. Oh yeah, my 2-year-old is so smart. He knows how to read when the TV words go by. Okay, let me see you read something, old homie. Juice. Quit lying for these musty motherfuckers. Talking to you.
Me? You?
No, but everybody watching will be like, "Oh shit, he's pointing at me. Fuck, am I a bad parent?"
See,
parent.
I thought you pointed at me. I was scared.
Hell yeah, you a bad parent. You ain't paid child support in 10 years.
Yo, chill.
Chill out,
Chill.
But I digress. Yeah, raise these little motherfuckers.
Blood metal. Are you even
Yeah,
here, bro?
yeah, I'm here.
You got anything, bro? I mean, everybody's been speaking. This is the one topic you haven't said anything on yet.
I mean, I kind of, concur with a lot that y'all saying. You know what I mean? My only objection would be not really an objection, but an addition would be I personally feel that everybody was wrong in the situation, even the cop. I'm not saying that he didn't react the way he was trained to react. I'm just saying innately as a person, right? I get it. It's like a fight or flight thing. Shoot one time, maybe twice, not four. You know what I mean? That's a little too much. Now, if that person was charging at you with a knife, I get 4 shots. I get it, but you're far away from this, situation. You don't really understand what happened and what went on. There's no time to even get that information. It's all about reaction. I get it, but 4 shots is a little excessive. And then the parents
Especially because
allow
one could have over-penetrated. That's fair.
Well,
right,
it was
right.
intentional for stopping power purposes. If he hadn't have stopped her at that point, that knife
But
could have
that's
very
not the.
well
But
ended
see,
up in
that's
her
not the.
neck.
That's not the law, though.
But
You see what I mean?
if
It's not
that
the law.
knife ends up in that other girl, let's say it ends up in her neck, we're sitting here having a whole other discussion about why didn't that cop do this?
I
Why
mean, not
didn't
for
he put
me
her
though.
down?
Not for me. Maybe it would have been painted in the media that way. But for me personally, you know what I'm saying, and being in scenarios like that or
You
having
can't
seen
deny that'd be
scenarios
the
like
Wait,
discussion.
where did
yeah,
these rounds hit to be talking about stopping power?
cinemath.
Because if she's going
Center
to stab
mass.
somebody, one
Yeah, they
shot
all.
is enough.
And I
Yeah,
was
they all.
No,
I think he was behind.
no.
He was behind her. Also, it was center mass. And I think he was like behind her.
If
Yeah,
center
because she
Center
mass from
mass
fall.
does not
behind,
necessarily mean
one
it's putting you
shot.
down. If
Yeah,
I
she
put
was
it through your
falling.
lungs, you ain't stopping. Especially if I'm lunging forward, that knife is going in that other person with just one bullet.
I
You
mean,
can't
I
guarantee
get
it's
what
gonna
you're
stop
saying.
him.
What I'm saying is he shot her to kill her. See what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and he should have, because
I
if he
don't think
did
so.
not, That
So,
knife is going in the next person's neck.
but you don't know
Same
that, just
reason
like
he
I
can't
don't know
use a
that.
taser. If he had used a taser in that situation, she
Yeah.
convulses and puts that knife in that other person anyways. Again, we're sitting here having the opposite
Now we
conversation.
have extra victims.
No. Listen to me. I agree with that point. You get what I'm saying? I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is the force that he used was a little excessive. See what I'm saying? For the scenario it was. I
I
don't think
disagree.
that she needed.
I
I don't
think
think that
lethal
she
force was
needed to get
absolutely
shot
justified.
4 times. When you release those shots, you see what I'm saying? You already seen her falling. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like you shot
He put
once,
4
waited a
bullets in her
second.
before she fell. She
He
didn't
released four
fall, then he
shots.
put more.
He released 4 shots consecutively. Bow, bow, bow,
Correct.
bow. That fast. He didn't even think.
Absolutely.
He just, yeah, that's too much.
That could be
That
taken
no,
that
not
could
at
be
all.
taken down to a couple of different things. I mean, what kind of
Yeah.
weapon, what he was shooting, and that
9
also could have
millimeter.
been, and that also could be the as Topher said, he got a valid point there. You're
9 millimeter
you're
is
shooting to
probably not
stop that
stopping somebody
person
with a bullet.
from moving in the direction that they're moving. You know what I mean? And that takes stopping power.
I mean, if you
But
want to have
I
this
mean, what
conversation, the
you're saying though,
conversation should
but
be
That
okay,
level of
9
stopping
millimeter
I'll tell you
shouldn't be
power.
this.
used.
Okay,
But
I'll tell
you
you
gotta
this.
also look at the
Right?
fact that
Okay.
maybe he was not confident in his shot. Maybe he thought he was gonna miss at least twice.
No,
Missing would imply he
no.
would hit the rest of the
This
people there, so I hope not.
All these things, you got to take into consideration the
Yeah,
mindset.
I take
No,
him
you
I
got
take
to
him
take
into
into
consideration.
consideration the
I do.
mindset of the officer. They
I
probably
do.
thought like, I don't know if I'm gonna make all these shots. This is all
this
happening
isn't a
within a
mind. This
millisecond.
isn't a mindset part of this conversation. This part of this
Yeah,
conversation is about stopping power. And a 9 millimeter round just does not have stopping power. And if that's the way
that's
you want to go with
bullshit.
the
A nine
conversation,
millimeter
What
round does
what
have
does a
stopping
9
power.
millimeter round have though?
A 9 millimeter does have stopping power. I
velocity.
What
know
does it
you
have
learned
more
that
than
part,
stopping
but
power
they
though?
have stopping power. 9 millimeter is gonna stop you. It's not gonna fucking like stop you in your tracks, but shit, a 5.56 ain't gonna just stop you in your fucking tracks. If you have a
Five five
5.56
six
is
and
a
a
good
9
example
millimeter
too.
are pretty
a
close there.
rocket launcher,
5.56 is
a
actually a
rocket
smaller
launcher
round
will
than a 9
stop you in
millimeter.
your tracks, but you can shoot
A
somebody. Shoot,
45 would have stopped her with one round. A
man,
45 would have put her on the ground.
no, man, I seen people shoot 45s, get shot with 45s, and it's the person. You see what I mean? It's the
A
person.
female of that size would have been put on the ground with a 45 round.
A female that size got put on the ground with a 9.
With
The
What
4
are you
shots
issue
per
saying?
comes
9,
in for
correct.
me at fucking those shots
You
hit
wouldn't-
and he did what he had to do. Sure. We
Yeah,
all
I'm
get it.
not-
We all acknowledge that fact. We all did get that he did what he had to do. But there are
yeah,
methods by which one could perceive it as excessive because it for me, it wouldn't be the same as Black Metal's route. My route for thinking about, you know what, that might have been a little much, is my first thought when putting rounds in a target is what is beyond that target. And if he's hitting her at that angle, then those rounds, those nice little 9 mils that fucking don't have a lot of stopping power, but they do have a lot of
Velocity.
poke,
And
they'll fucking,
velocity.
that motherfucker could very well over penetrate and go through her and hit the next person. That's what I
Here.
would be worried about if I was that officer, is I am endangering multiple lives by firing in this direction. I need to make sure
I
that I am
thinking
firing
that way,
control.
I could also be concerned that the 9 millimeter round is going to pierce into the body, hit a bone, deflect in an opposite direction, go across the street, and shoot an old lady in the head.
I don't know.
So
I
that's a
mean,
little less likely.
I
Hold
know
on, that
That's a little less likely.
excessive
Man,
on
pulled
that, but
that
it's
out
the
of an
same
episode of
mentality.
CSI and shit.
but
Yeah, that's
I,
a
But
lot
it's true.
less likely.
you were cut.
I
So
just
I
believe
was
that the
with
force
you.
has
I was
freedom.
with you a little bit when you were doing entry and exit points. I was kind of with you, and then you said across the street hit an old lady.
I know I was
Yeah,
being facetious at that point,
that's a
but
lot of lost velocity.
it was to bring light to my point. Okay, it
Yeah,
could
I
have
get,
very
I
well
get.
deflected off a bone and hit the mother standing next to her, if that's the way you're going to look at things.
Yeah,
But
I think
that's a
everybody
little less
reacted
likely than you hit the object and then went through it. Human beings are soft. We all acknowledge that, right? We all acknowledge the human body is not that fucking tough. It's tough. When it comes down to like, if you take a shot here, this is all meat. It's all
True.
meat.
Absolutely.
Not only because I'm fat, but because, it's all meat. So if you get hit here, you get hit here. You get hit here on the sides, over here, inside over here. You get hit in the fucking bicep. There are a lot of places that you can hit somebody with a small round, and that round is going to over penetrate and keep going because it still has velocity left. That is the only method by which I can be like, you know what? That might have been a little excessive. You're playing it a little risky. That was kind of a cowboy move. Next time, put 2 in. 2 is fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can agree with
and
that.
what I'm saying is, I'm not even saying that he was wrong. What I'm saying is, I believe in that situation, everybody was wrong. The girls that was out there to fight her or jumping her was wrong. The girl coming back outside after she called the fucking police was wrong. Trying to attack her when the police came there. You should have did that shit before the
Yeah,
cops got
it's a
there. You see what
shitty
I'm saying?
situation. It was bad from
Wrong.
all angles.
The parents were fucking wrong. You know what I'm saying? For like, yo, somebody pulled up to my fucking house trying to fight my kids. Oh yeah, it's on. It's
Yeah.
on. It's on. You know what I'm saying?
I
There
feel.
ain't no need for the police.
Yeah.
The police is coming there to figure out what the fuck happened. Like, what happened?
And
Oh
that's
yeah,
what I'm
this and
saying.
this happened.
He
You
walked
know
in
what I'm
there and shit was just going off. Like, you know what I mean?
saying? Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody was.
the video shows it. It's right when he gets there. It just goes
Yeah, right
nuts.
when he gets there, it's happening again. Like that wasn't the first fight that she was in. You know what I'm saying? It was a continuance. That's why she called them. But my thing is, when you call them, like everyone said, she should have went in the house. The parents shouldn't even have been outside. The police, you know, when he pulled up and the way that he addressed the situation, I understand it. You know what I mean? Because it was something happening right in front of his fucking eyes. I just feel like he over secured the situation. You know what I mean? Like he did that shit instantly. Like he pulled up,
That's the
fuck everything that's going on. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
feel you're
don't like
coming
that.
from. At
You know
four
what I mean?
shots, I don't feel it's quite that far from me. I think if it had been,
Yeah.
you
Maybe
know,
6 or something like
yeah,
that.
6, 8,
Yeah.
10 shot, I'd be straight on board with you. At
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's
4,
10, I'd be pissed because after 7, you got to reload.
Yeah.
no,
True.
this is a
Yeah.
9mm,
I can
bro. It
feel
could
where
be
you're
up to
coming from.
16.
Yeah. I can
Could
feel where
be
you're
up to
coming from.
16, but he's probably not running the fucking extendo in that fucking service
No.
pistol.
It's the way he shot
Double
it though.
stack,
It's just
bro.
the way
Double stack.
he shot it. Like he shot it and he just holstered that bitch like he knew. Like he pop 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 and he put that bitch back up and he knew. You know what I mean? Like that's
Oh
my
yeah.
thing. That
Oh
was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wrong.
once,
After 4
That was
shots, he knew. Absolutely.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
after
too much for me. You know what I mean? That was too much for me. Everybody reacted wrong in the scenario. Everybody, the parents, the girls jumping her, the girl with the knife, even the cop. But I do
But I
believe
will
that
say
that
the
situation should
least wrong person in the situation was the cop.
huh?
That's my saving grace here. The least wrong person in the situation this time was the cop.
Yeah,
Everybody else was wrong as shit. The
I can
cop
say
was
that.
wrong, but he wasn't that wrong. That man showed up
No,
and was like, you know what? I gotta do this. It's gotta
yeah.
happen, and I'm
Until more
gotta
truths
do it.
come out about that, then that's not. You know what I mean? Like her parents and friends saying that she didn't have a knife. Like we saw the video. I'm not gonna sit here and say that this. You know what I mean? I don't
Say
fucking
it
know.
now.
But
Say
until
it,
the
Black.
facts, until the facts, actual facts come out about like what actually happened in those events from the parents, like that's what I need to know. You feel me? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, I don't
So,
Go
think
you
ahead
this
and
know,
was
say it.
long ago.
Quit lying for your musty ass
yeah,
kids.
The
I
27th.
just think exactly. And everybody just reacted wrong in that situation. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of just went for whatever the fuck they felt at the moment. Like even in the video, if you slow it down, like you can see the dad kicking the girl in the face, like what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I didn't catch that part. Damn.
yeah,
yeah. You see
he kicked
walking
one of
on
the girls
people's
in the face
faces.
that was jumping his daughter. You know, but my thing is, you shouldn't even have had your daughter outside to be in that scenario. Once she
If
already
you're
came to you,
if
being
you're
jumped, you called the police. That's it. You already picked your
Yeah, I
side.
mean,
You
a
didn't pick
cop
the
is on the
streets.
way. You know there's
You
about
didn't.
to be a
Yeah, you
gun
didn't pick
involved
the
in the
streets.
situation.
Yeah, you didn't pick the street way to do it. You know what I mean? You called the cops. So you're going by law-abiding citizen. So when you
so
did that, you could have stayed in the fucking house.
Man, what happened to the days when people just, could throw hands, didn't get stabbed,
Yeah,
didn't get shot?
yeah.
Man,
Well, she was trying to
in
do
my
that, you
younger
know.
days, it
yeah,
was,
but that's
hey,
what I
let's
was.
meet up here, let's have a fist fight, and see whoever goes home. With lumps on their head. That's it. It was it. It was
Yeah,
done. It was fist,
yeah.
and that was
Well,
it.
she was, from
I'll
what
tell
I
you
hear, the
what.
girl
People
was trying
started
to do that.
slowly jumping people
She was fighting one
and
of the girls.
realizing no
The
more
girls
proportion.
came and jumped her. And some of them were grown ass women. She was 15, and they came to jump her. You see what I mean? So when they came, she came outside and they jumped her. And her parents, grandparents and shit came outside. So she ran inside when they came outside, called the police. So when she came back to the door, this is how I'm playing it out because I grew up in these situations many a times. You know what I'm saying? So she probably called the police, pick a side. You know what I mean? Granddad, whoever told him, call the police. She came back outside. The girls probably rah running off at the mouth. Oh, we gonna jump your
And
fucking
this is
grandpa
it. That
or
it
some
was
shit
at
like
this
that.
moment that
And
she
she said,
fucked
"Oh
up.
fuck no, oh
They
fuck
should have
no,
stayed in
I'm
the
gonna cut
house.
one of you bitches." She went in the fucking house, got a knife, came back outside, and the girl reacted. One of the girls jumped on her immediately because she came out with a weapon. And then, you know what I'm saying? As shit happened, the police pulled up and like everybody reacted wrong, bro. Like the whole shit was just everybody acting on instinct and not an animal mind instinct. See what I'm
There
saying?
is no Name me another
Yeah,
animal.
so-
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I think
Yeah.
I think that statement from the mayor made perfect sense in this situation. Like, I get it; it's a definite 100% the politically correct thing to say, but it made fucking sense. Some are guilty, but everyone in this situation is responsible, and that makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's fair. But
That's
I just want to point out, only animal that I know of that has ever just wittingly said, fuck it, I'm going to walk into an ass whooping, was a fucking lemming. Dodos probably did it too, but you notice they're fucking,
Yeah, no, those are states.
like, what? I've never understood that about human beings is fucking, I'm mad, so I'm going to walk into an ass beating. There are 3 of them and 1 of me, but I'm mad, so I'm going to go outside and walk into an ass beating after I just called the cops. But I don't want to get my ass beat, so now I'm going to take a knife with me.
I never said people weren't stupid animals.
You didn't say that.
That shit was retarded. And you mean was the house empty? Because, like, anyone in that house, a nigga sitting on the couch could have been like, hey, what are you doing? That is dumb. Sit the fuck down. Like,
Yeah.
could have been a lot of times somebody could have been like, you're being dumb. But no one
Reacting
did.
in the moment. Reacting in the moment because she came to the house already gotten to it with someone. You see what I mean? It wasn't like
Reacting in the moment,
You
I'd have
see,
laid hands on my fucking dog.
This is
Reacting
why
in
we
the
gotta
moment,
legalize
what the
weed.
fuck is
So
wrong
in
with
this situation, somebody just could have pulled out a blunt and been like, "Hey, you know, I got a better idea than fucking with this shit. Let's just smoke."
fact.
And everything would have been fine. Everything would have been fine.
Hell yeah. Sit there, fucking smoke,
Yes, man,
light it
shit.
up,
Lord,
and
there
just
we
talk
go.
about your
Weed
issues.
and sin
That
shows
shit would
up.
have been resolved.
You mentioned
never
weed
been
and
mad
sin shows up.
ever.
Ridiculous.
Ever
Crazy.
been
Yeah.
mad.
Looking at me, you should be looking at Wolf.
All right, so a lot of heated discussions. I like it. Yeah.
Childish.
You know it.
Oh shit.
This was good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this. Let's do this more often.
Yeah.
Or no.
We already got a good topic for the next scene. So
Yeah, make sure you send that to me, yo.
I'll send it to you.
Make sure you send me that topic. Okay, so that's gonna be it for the night. This is gonna conclude Elevated Minds, the After Hours edition. Stay tuned for next week where we're gonna start season 2, right? Oh, Tao ain't here, so we about to reiterate
I'm
this
here.
shit. So we, you know,
I'm here.
you didn't.
He there.
You didn't hear. That's what I said. So we're gonna reiterate
Nah.
this shit. We got a lot of shit in the lineup. Start next week. We got a couple OnlyFans girls coming on the show. We got some live cam girls coming on the show. We got some rappers. We got some YouTubers. We got some Twitch streamers. A lot of shit going on for this next season. All right, stay tuned. Subscribe to the page. Like this fucking video. Right? Click that notification bell so you get notifications on all our future podcasts. Elevated Minds. We out of here.
Peace.
Like,
We went.
Take it easy.
Yeah, it was alright, man.
My balls are sweating.
what the fuck?
Yeah, a little spicy.
Because I left the air conditioner while we record, and my office is like, it's not even hot. I'm just fat. It's like 17
Bro,
degrees.
my office get hot as fuck whenever I'm doing something in here important. Bro, I'm sweating right now. Dead ass, like, I'm sweating. I don't know why. It's like 70 degrees. Not hot.
It's that damn glowing pyramid you got, Top.
It probably is.
Never studied shit, just the artistry of pen. And hip hop and this pop culture locking it in. Yeah, my noggin is equipped with enough